Ahoy.
Oh. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Adam.
How are you?
I'm very good.
Good. That was very formal.
Welcome, everyone, to Bottom of the Stream.
It is kind of an amalgamation of wavy movie shows.
Sure.
Today we're doing a bit of both.
Put my hands up. Hands up, even. I was a bit late coming back from holiday, so couldn't make the schedule. So we've rescheduled the schedule.
We've had to reschedule the schedule. So you'll notice there wasn't a wave on Monday. We're going to do a few main headlines of news today.
A few pertinent bits of news.
And then we'll have a big bumper wave next week.
And then you're going to have to crack right on
I'm
into the editing.
Crack straight into editing to get this out as soon as possible.
But everyone will appreciate that because, you know, this is the penultimate movie of season 7.
Season 7 is coming to a rushing end.
Yeah. So only a couple more chances to dethrone the current tabletopper.
Yeah.
Which is Lockout.
Madness.
Lockout, incidentally,
was
just removed from Netflix.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
This week? Oh.
So, too late.
Too late. You can't watch our number one film so far this season now.
But I feel like it's the kind of film that would just bounce around and come back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I'm sure it's been and gone from Netflix a few times already.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Guy Pearce starring Space. Taken in Space.
Yeah. Basically what it was, wasn't it?
Currently topping our
Space
table.
Taken.
Space Taken. Yeah. Have you had a good week?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, really. We saw each other on...
Oh, can we talk about that?
Well, I guess so.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
We saw each other on Saturday.
Saturday, we did indeed.
We went to a little event hosted by our very good friends at 3 Men and a Ladle.
Shout out to 3 Men and a Ladle. Check them out on Instagram.
Yeah, who produce loads of quality Instagram food-related content.
They do.
And actual real food.
And actual real food.
Which we have sampled before.
Usually beautiful.
And we... Along with the third member of Bottom of the Stream.
The unofficial third member.
Our artiste, Ross Cook.
If we say unofficial third member, does that make it official third member? I think it does.
It's like the fifth Beatle.
Yeah, absolutely.
We went and we took part in Hot Wingterviews.
We did. We got Wingterviewed. Which
was basically answering some questions whilst eating an increasingly hot level of chicken wings.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. But
Sunday was not
experience.
Fun. Saturday was fun. God. How do people eat that sort of thing?
I can't wait for people to see these videos. Keep an eye out in the next couple of weeks on Instagram.
People that hot sauce is readily available for sale. People can't be eating that for fun.
It's the most entertaining I've ever seen you.
Thanks. I made some noises at one point. Yeah. I don't know where they came from.
Absolutely
they were guttural.
Involuntary noises.
So I'm still coughing as well after a month now, it feels like. And I couldn't do anything with my face. It just wouldn't work.
All your hands, apparently.
My hands were going crazy. All I remember is leaning over the sink with an ice cube in my mouth, like hating my life.
There's some great pictures already. Yeah, look out for those on Instagram.
Yeah, check them out. They're on our feed and on 3 Men and a Ladle's Instagram feed.
I mean, firstly, the wings were delicious.
Yeah.
Secondly,
no, they weren't. Some of them were.
Secondly, the sauces were all nice.
No, they weren't. Some of them were.
And then you just got to insane heat by about number 7, 8 was the tipping point.
By 7, I was like, this is starting to hurt. And then 8 was just...
I couldn't tell you if 9 or 10 were hot because
I said that to my brother. I was like...
I'd passed the horizon.
8 absolutely kicked me in the face as soon as I touched it. And then after that, I don't remember really anything. I couldn't tell you what the questions were that I got asked. I have no idea how that went.
And my mouth was fizzing and, you know...
Ross made me laugh because he'd come in a grey T-shirt and he'd literally just poured water down himself. It was very funny. There's loads of good pictures.
My lips were tingling for a good hour afterwards.
We don't know when the videos are coming, but we will definitely be retweeting them when they do. Or what's it called when you re-Instagram something? Regram it.
Regram it. I don't know what it's called.
Not me.
And later that evening, oh man, did those wings come back and bite me in the behind.
Yeah, a little
without
bit.
getting into too much detail.
A little bit.
But
it was a fun time though.
It was really fun.
It was a fun time, and we thank them for letting us be Wingterviewed.
Yeah, I all the way through I was like, remember to say listen to Bottom of the Stream.
Yeah.
And then I was so like blinded by heat that I forgot to say
I don't think
I
said. I don't think either of us mentioned Bottom of the Stream once, to be honest.
But that's okay. We had a great time. And yeah, big shout out to 3 Men and a Ladle.
Definitely. If anybody ever gets invited to do it, you should definitely do it.
Yeah.
It's an experience I won't be forgetting.
Return visit?
Soon. No, I'm not doing it.
Do round 2?
No, absolutely not. I'm going to get them back with something. I don't know what, but I'm going to get them back or something. Right, shall we...
I did, just before we finish that, I did make the suggestion. I liked the escalating heat because it kind of added to the drama of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think I would go back if there was a roulette situation.
Oh, mystery wings.
Yeah. You just try your luck. But
some of them were really, some of the early levels were really nice. It was like the third or fourth one was like, I could eat loads of them. They were really nice.
Then the heat took over.
Then the heat kicked me in the face.
Cool. Go and check those out when they become available.
Definitely. Right. This is a movie show. We are going to do a movie. We've got a few little bits of news we're going to do first because we don't feel like
we're jumping around all over the place.
Yeah, we don't feel like they can wait till next week's wave.
It's like old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like this is what we used to do back in the day when we did one episode a week.
And he used to go for 2 hours. I don't think we'll go for 2 hours because we've only got a couple of bits of news.
And we've only got like half an hour to edit it. So.
But I think 3 really interesting bits of news that we did, Netflix news that we did want to outline. The first of those you sent to me, and actually I'm well on board with this. It's probably not as a good piece of news for you.
No, I thought you'd like it, but it wasn't like.
But
wowing.
Netflix has confirmed that they are on board with the new untitled feature from Josh and Benny Safdie.
Yeah, the Safdie brothers are back.
Also, Adam Sandler's on board.
Yeah.
So it's a reuniting of the Uncut Gems team. How'd you feel about that? Uncut Gems was one of my top movies of last year or whichever year it came out. I loved it.
I hated it.
I know. It's not a movie. You don't watch it, you experience it. My word, it is intense.
It was really intense. We've also done one of their films on the show, haven't we?
Yeah, Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson.
Hated that as well.
Yeah, which has got the same vibe about it. It's that sort of...
It's just that pure in-your-face chaos.
It's stress.
Constantly. Stressful filmmaking, I call it. And I don't enjoy that sort of thing. But I can understand why people do. This is big news that those 3 are getting back together.
Yeah, the only details is that the hope is that the project will be shot in the second quarter of 2023.
Okay, so you're talking mid-2024 before you're going to see
But the Safdies are still putting finishing touches to the script. No plot details confirmed, other than a source who has said there's a tip-off that the movie is set in the world of high-end card collecting.
What's that mean?
Do you think it means
like Pokemon cards?
Yeah. I reckon it's going to mean like sports cards.
Yeah, it could be.
Because you had like Kevin Garnett was in Uncut Gems, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The basketball
like baseball
player.
trading cards.
So I think it's going to be like high value sports cards. But yeah, I'd love to see like a stressful Uncut Gem style fighting for like Pikachu #1. I think that'd be brilliant.
I might even watch that myself, to be fair. There's big money in card collecting, so yeah, maybe. What an interesting idea.
But it's in the works.
Good. I'm
good sure we'll hear all about it.
Yeah, over the coming next few seasons of Bottom of the Street.
As the thing progresses. More importantly than all of that, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Netflix has confirmed that now this at the minute this is only in the US.
Okay.
So we will wait to see if we'll get this on Netflix in the UK.
I'm sure we will.
But Netflix are going to premiere the direct-to-video sequel of a 2013 movie that starred Ryan Reynolds. He's a big deal.
He's a massive deal.
He's not in the sequel.
Okay.
First movie also starred Jeff Bridges.
But also a
massive
big deal.
Not in this movie. It's a sequel to one of the biggest box office duds of all time.
Yeah.
If you've not worked it out yet, we're talking about a sequel to R.I.P.D., the Rest in Peace Department. R.I.P.D. 2, Rise of the Damned, debuts on Netflix in the United States in November. On November the 15th, to be exact.
I wonder why it's only coming to the States.
I'm hoping it's just a case of the rest of the deals for the rest of the world aren't quite inked yet.
Yeah, maybe.
But
have you seen? Well, I know you.
I have seen R.I.P.D. because I've talked about it to you on the show. Because I said you should go and watch it,
and then I did go and watch it
because it's all right.
Because it's actually okay.
You know, it's not good, but
it's Men in Black with ghosts.
But it's better than every Men in Black apart from the first one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree.
It's one of them that I watched. I was like, oh, is this as bad as everyone said? And I was like, no, it's fine.
It's fine.
Maybe it's because I'm used to watching all the crap we watch on this show.
Yeah, maybe.
And having said all that, I can't believe there's a sequel.
No, that is true.
I'll give you the synopsis.
Go on.
And I still want to watch this. I probably want to watch it more, having read this. Set in the American West of 1876, R.I.P.D. 2, Rise of the Damned, is a spiritual sequel to 2013's R.I.P.D. Sheriff Roy Pulsifer isn't too thrilled about finding himself dead after a shootout with a notorious outlaw gang, but he gets a second chance to return to Earth after being recruited by the Rest in Peace department. But avenging his own murder may have to take a backseat to saving the world when a gateway to hell is opened in the old mining town of Red Creek, which threatens not only the locals but all of humanity itself.
It's a Western as well.
It's just got to be good.
And surely that's a prequel.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It stars as well.
Yeah.
Bottom of the stream alum.
Oh.
Jeffrey Donovan.
Remind me.
He was in Villains. He was the male half of the creepy couple.
They were great as well. That creepy.
He's probably most famous for being in Burn Notice, which was on for years and years.
Yeah.
He leads this. R.I.P.D. 2.
Richard Fleischman's in it. He used to be in Coronation Street.
Did he?
Yeah.
The deal that Netflix in the States have signed is that they will have the streaming rights to this movie for 3 whole years. So you've got plenty of time.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do get it over here.
I really hope so. Gotta have content. Gotta have
all that content. Talking of Jeff Bridges, briefly, I watched the first episode of his new TV show the other day.
Oh, it's on my list.
The Old Man.
The Old Man. How was it?
It was incredible.
Good.
I've only watched one episode. I watched it last night. Really good.
What's the brief synopsis?
He's like a retired CIA agent who's like really old now.
Okay.
And he's living like off the grid, retired in this old cabin. And then John Lithgow is he's like the assistant general of the FBI.
Older man.
Yeah. And he was like the one who was trying to catch him back in his heyday.
Nice.
And they get a lead on where he is, and he has to try and escape while John Lithgow tries to help him because he doesn't want him to get caught now. Because if he does, then all of John Lithgow's old secrets will come out. Oh, I see. So he's got to try and catch him and help him at the same time.
Oh, it sounds brilliant.
That's the premise of the first episode anyway. And it was the fight scene in the first episode is bang on.
I'm going to push it up.
Very much enjoyed it. So yeah, push it up your list. It went to the top of mine, and I started last night. I'm going to do some more tonight.
Excellent.
Hopefully. Sweet.
I'll
talk more about it on next week's Wave.
Sounds good. Our last bit of news in this mini.
This is a really interesting story, I thought.
Newsweek. Yeah, really interesting. Talking of streaming deals or those expiring, Netflix have announced that Lilyhammer, which was their first ever released Netflix original, will soon be departing Netflix.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched it?
No. I've honestly never even heard of it.
I'd heard of it.
I think I might have heard of it, but I've never watched it.
Yeah. Again, later this month. It was October 2011.
Wow.
They picked this up.
Who knew they'd been making originals for that long?
They
didn't make it though, did they? This is one of those where they brought the rights to it and put their own...
Yeah, and put their logo on it.
And that rights is probably for, 10
but
years, 11 years?
It was kind of a big hit in the States. Netflix streamed it for the first time February 6th, 2012. And that was after the first season had aired in Norway, because it's a Norwegian-made show. But it starred Steve Van Zandt, who is more famous for being the guitarist for Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
But I have seen a couple of episodes ages ago, and just it was one of them and I enjoyed it, but just never quite went back to it.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to bother now. Yeah, it leaves Netflix globally on November the 21st. Yeah,
which is exactly 8 years following the release of the third and final season.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? It's really
It
weird.
says the rights to the show will revert back to the original production company, 7-1 International and Red Arrow Studios.
I wonder if we'll lose more Netflix originals over the coming. If they've only got
Do you think
10-year rights for them.
That's purely a business decision. We've had this thing on for 10 years.
Yeah, nobody's watching it anymore.
It's going to cost us X amount to renew it versus
Let's just
who's actually watched it.
Yeah, who's watched it at any point in the last 8 years since it finished. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even last year...
You'd think it's quite symbolic, though, as being the first
Exactly.
Netflix original. You'd think they'd want to keep it.
Van Zandt and Ted Sarandos last year even did a sort of mini get-together celebrating the show.
Oh, right, okay.
So clearly was a big needle mover for the early days of Netflix and a bit of a sales point for them. So yeah, but Lilyhammer is going.
It's going.
I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere else.
Probably Disney Plus. Let's be honest.
Who knows?
Right, is that it?
I think that's the news.
That'll do for the news, I think. And we'll, like we said earlier, we'll come back on Monday, do a big full-on
Bumper wave.
Surf
that mother.
That's where we'll do the real talk that we put out into the ether as well.
Should we remind people of the real talk?
Do it.
Okay, good. It was what movie should have had a sequel that hasn't?
Yes, it was.
Or what do you wish would have had a sequel?
Yeah.
I've got mine.
I haven't got mine. I was going to wing it on the night.
That's fine.
But then the night never came.
Again,
So-
it's generated some real debate in the
the
Discord. I did put a couple of suggestions in there, but my official answer is not one of those.
Ooh, okay, interesting. I will have an answer by Monday. But like I say, the night never came.
Just by way of an extra tease,
Go on.
the one I'm going to choose that for a movie that should have had a sequel, is a sequel to a movie that I don't really like.
Oh, okay. So it's a movie. It's a sequel to a movie that should have had a sequel. Is that what you're telling me? The sequel should have had a sequel.
What?
What?
No, there's just one movie.
Yeah,
It's never had a sequel.
Right.
I didn't really like the movie.
Oh, you don't like the movie, but you think it should have a sequel?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Thought you'd like that.
I do like that. Right, should we talk about Wheelman?
Drivers on.
Drivers on. We're talking about Wheelman in this week's movie show. Wheelman was released in 2017. It is a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 22 minutes. Currently rated at 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb and is a Netflix original. 6.4.
I would say that's pretty high.
I think it might be the highest we've done this season.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since we've been in this range.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We've been up there before, but yeah, it feels like we've been
we've been higher than that before,
firmly mired in the 3s, 4s, maybe the occasional 5 for a good while now. So
it's basically, this film is a one-man show, I would say.
Pretty much.
There's other people in it, but
Yeah.
Frank Grillo is the main guy. He plays Wheelman. Never named in the show, never named in the credits.
it's him and the car,
Yeah.
because we are the car
Yeah, 100%.
for most of this movie.
I've got some stats on that. There's only 10 shots, not even scenes, 10 shots in the entire film that don't have a car, where you're not in a car.
Yeah.
So in the entire film.
That's
whole
a
film is
great
set in
stat.
a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Frank Grillo, probably most famous. Well, he's been in everything, every action movie over the last 100 years.
Lot of credits.
I know him mostly for Kingdom,
Yes.
which is his UFC style
Yep.
show that he did. That's absolutely brilliant. If you get a chance to watch it, it's a great show. He was also in The Grey,
Yes.
and he did a couple of Purge films.
Yes.
The later ones.
And he was in. He's popped up as everyone in the MCU.
Yeah.
As Crossbones.
Something like that.
think.
Yeah.
He's in most of the Captain America films.
Yeah. You know Frank Grillo. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Frank Grillo. Caitlin Carmichael plays Katie. She's most famous. She was recently in Midnight in the Switchgrass,
Okay.
which was a film that came out this year or late last year. And Garrett Dillahunt is also in this film. He plays a character called Clayton. He's quite famous too. He's been in every TV show ever made. I know him mainly for he was in Raising Hope.
Okay.
Remember that with
Yeah, I do.
you lady from the Goonies. Written and directed by a guy called Jeremy Rush. Good name for a guy who writes car movies.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
But this is the only film
people called Jeremy like
it's the only film he's ever written or directed.
Really?
Yep.
And what year is this from?
2017.
Oh, this guy. There's a lot. I think that surprises me.
Yeah,
surprises
same.
me.
Me too. Do you want to know another cool stat about this film?
Yes, please.
How many times is the word fuck said in this film?
Oh, it's quite a lot.
It's the 31st of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
It's
impressive.
on the list of the most amounts of fucks per film. How many are you saying? 31st, of all time.
There are 102 fucks.
There are 286
I was
fucks,
going to say 200 and I thought it was too many.
which works out to 3.4 a minute.
Wow, because this is only 80 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually it's like the third highest per minute.
Fucks per minute.
Fucks per minute. It's like the third or fourth highest
FPM,
ever.
this is high.
It's up there.
Wow.
I think Scarface is the top. I think there's like 8 fucks per minute in Scarface. But yeah, 286 times he says fuck in this film.
Great stat.
Love that stat. Do you have a one-word review?
I have, and I feel like it's a criticism. I don't necessarily mean it as a criticism. It's like Drive, the TV movie.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. That's a good shout. I thought you were going to say wheelie good. Now,
Thank you. That's just as fine. Yeah.
due to the delays in recording this episode, it's been almost a week since I watched this film. Now,
I finished it today,
You
so
might
all
need
good.
you might need to help me out with some of the detail because it's. I think I watched it last Tuesday. I did watch it last Tuesday because I went to the cinema last Wednesday. Yes, it's been nearly a week since I watched it. Where does this film start, Nick?
We are in a car.
We are.
We are
Get used to that.
car's eye view.
Yep.
No one else is in the car.
Nope.
We are looking. We're in the back seat,
Yeah,
looking over out of the front windscreen,
that's where we spend the majority of this film.
and
as
it's
well.
dark. We're inside, but it's dark.
Yeah.
And then a man comes through a door, turns the lights on.
Yep.
We're in a garage.
We're in a garage in a car.
He opens the garage door.
Yep.
The roller blinds. Roller door.
Roller blinds?
And
They're not roller blinds. I think that'd be rubbish. There's no security in a roller blind.
the roller door.
Roller shutter.
And gets into the car.
Yep.
We are entered
We are.
by a man. And we get driven outside.
Yeah. And he passes the car on to another man.
Yeah. And we hear a muffled conversation because we're still in the car and they're having
the conversation outside. The car.
outside.
Again, that happens quite a lot in this film.
And man 2, who
Yep.
is Frank Grillo's character,
Wheelman.
is not very happy
He's not happy at all.
because he asked for a nondescript car.
Yeah.
And we've learned we are a black car
Yeah.
with a red trunk.
Yes. That's quite descript.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And this is exactly Wheelman's point.
Yeah, he's not happy. I don't know. Are we going to refer to him as Wheelman all the way through this film? Because he doesn't have a name. He is not named at any point during this film.
No, I mean...
Which, when the amount of
Like I
telephone
say-
conversations he has in this film, you think somebody would have said his name at some
Driver is taken.
point. Yeah.
So...
Maybe we just call him Frank.
it's Wheelman. That's why he introduces him.
I've called him WM in all my notes.
Me too. Me too.
So
Worst superhero ever.
yeah, terrible
Wheelman.
superhero. So he gets in his car. He drives away. He drives away fast.
Takes it for a razz.
He does. He razzes it. And then
Titles.
the credit sequence
Yeah.
hits in this
Kind of
18-minute
like
movie.
grindhousey titles,
Very,
aren't
yeah,
they?
very. And they go on for quite a long time.
Yeah.
On this movie that's only 80 minutes long. And then when we come out of the title sequence, now I'm going to warn you at the beginning of this. Wheelman uses his phone an awful lot in this.
I feel like this is a relatively simple film, but I had to make a lot of notes.
Yes.
Because the whole film is just this guy in the car,
On
pretty
the phone.
much making phone calls.
Yeah. Or receiving phone calls.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite frantic to talk through. I think we're going to
And
be
it's
going
a
at quite a
frantic
speed.
movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
100% it is. So the first person he calls is a guy called Clay. We don't know who Clay is at this point, but Clay doesn't answer, so he leaves him a message, and then
Well, he does, but I think you get... because the message is, Clay, call me back. I need to know where I'm parking.
Yes.
Which I instantly thought, well, this is the guy that set him up.
Yeah.
He needs to know
like his
where's the target.
It's clear from the beginning that Wheelman's not a good guy in this.
Yeah.
And we assume that Clay's like his handler or his whoever's looking after him whilst he's doing this. Then he gets a call from a girl called Katie. This is his daughter. We find out at this point she's 13 and she's going out.
She says...
She's going out
says,
to get pissed.
This isn't a request. I'm telling you I'm going out.
I'm not asking if I can go out. I'm
going to a
telling you
club.
I'm going out and I'm going to get pissed. And she's 13. He's like, absolutely not on my life. Are you
No,
going
she's
out?
like, you're with me for the weekend.
Yeah.
You're not doing it. And she's like, well, you're not here. You're out working.
And eventually she hangs up on him.
She says, I'm going anyway.
Yeah. And then she cuts the phone off. Kids, bloody kids. You've got all this to come. So she hangs the phone up on him. He picks up a couple of guys at this point. I guess these are the guys who he's going to do this job with, whatever he's heading towards. They also question the red trunk on this car.
They do.
Like, why on earth are we in this? And why do you drive a manual?
Yeah, that's...
Because it's not the best getaway car when you've got
It always surprised me in movies, especially, obviously, American movies where they're really fascinated and surprised that people drive a
stick
shift. So...
but Wheelman doesn't chit-chat.
No,
he says that himself.
None of these three guys have ever met each other before now.
No, basically,
so the crew's been put together separately.
They're about to rob a bank, I think. Was it a bank or
bank? Yeah,
it was a bank. And Wheelman's basically the getaway driver, but he doesn't chit chat. He doesn't want to talk to him. He doesn't want to know anything about them. He even They ask him his name, and he refuses to give his name, which becomes a theme of the film. And he says, "I'm just the wheelman."
End of story.
End of story, and that's what they call him from that point. They arrive at the bank. The
guy is like chatting at him. He's an older guy. But he's like, I've got a mohawk.
Yeah.
And then when Wheelman, it's all this banter going on. And when Wheelman won't tell him his name, he's like, well, if you're Wheelman, you can call me motherfucker.
Yes.
And then the other guy says, my name's Ben Ockrey, but you can call me, where's my money, motherfuckers?
And they're both credited as that in the credits of the film as well, which I thought was quite funny. So they arrive at the bank. They go in. The guys do go in. They do hold up this bank. We never leave the car, so we see this through the car.
We're in there with Wheelman.
We're in there with Wheelman, and then he gets a call from a mysterious number. I've put the handler because
same. It just says out of area.
Yeah, it just says out of area. Wheelman doesn't know who this guy is. We don't know who this guy is. But basically, this guy wants him to leave these two guys as soon as they put the money in the trunk, drive away.
Yeah,
and he's like, I can't do that. I'm a trusted wheelman. This is my job. This
and then the guy on the phone says, "No, I've told them to shoot you.
Yeah, you're going to die if you don't follow my.
Once the job's done.
Yeah,
and he says, I know all about you. I'm telling you, if you want to live, when they put the money in the trunk,
drive away,
leave them."
And he doesn't want to do it, but he's kind of getting left with no choice now. And this is where the film starts to become Frank Grillo being really frantic.
Yeah.
And the rest of the film is just him being like, not really knowing what's going on at any point. But he does do it. The guys come out, they put the money in the trunk, shut the trunk, and he speeds away and leaves them both there. He's still trying to reach Clay. Calls Clay a few times now, still getting a voicemail.
Increasingly exasperated that he can't get hold of him.
Yeah, getting really annoyed because he doesn't know what's going on now. He doesn't know where he's going for a start.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't know how much.
Just driving.
Yeah, he's just driving around. Then this handler guy calls him back and he says, "I need you to pull over and count the money."
He says, "Look, you're not quite done yet. Yeah. I've got a few more jobs for you.
Yeah.
Count the money."
Yeah. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to stop him.
He's like, I've got time to do that.
I don't want to stop in public counting money in the back of a car. But he has no choice, so he does. He pulls over, he counts it, estimates it to be roughly 200 grand.
Yeah.
Gets back on the phone. The guy wants an exact figure of how much is in there.
Go and count it again.
Go and count it again. So he comes back and he's like, there's 230 grand in there.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the exact figure. I don't feel like somebody would have counted it out to...
no, because he even says, it's all different denominations.
Yeah, I'm not counting it. There's about 230 grand.
And he counted it quick. There was it must have been guesstimating.
And then the handler says, sit tight, I'll call you back.
Over Wheelman's shoulder,
yeah,
there's a guy on a bike. Just
yeah,
sort of going through the shot, by the way. But the camera kind of focuses in on it and then out again.
Yeah, so we're not...
Unbeknownst to
we're
Wheelman.
Supposed to see it, but he's not supposed to know it's there, but we're supposed to have picked up on it. The handler says, sit tight, I'll call you back. And then he does call him back and he tells him to go to some station somewhere.
Yeah.
Train station, I think.
But then Wheelman gets a text from unknown.
Yeah.
So this is different from the out of area handler.
This is a different person.
And it just says you and Clay are dead.
Yeah.
So we've got some different factions.
Some shit's going down here.
Yeah.
We have no clue.
Involved here.
We have no clue what's going on. Wheelman has no clue what's going on. Then Katie calls him back again.
Yeah.
She has decided she is going to stay at home.
She's like, good news, Dad, I'm not going out.
But bad news, I'm going back to mum's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't wanna-
and plus my boyfriend's here.
Yes. Ryan's there.
Yeah.
He's her boyfriend. He's going to stay there with her.
And Wheelman's more annoyed at this fact
Yes.
than the fact they were going out.
It is apparent that his 13-year-old daughter is dating a 17-year-old boy.
Sure.
But she hangs up on him again. So he's really not happy at this point.
No, he's in a...
All
he's
sorts
all
of
over the
shit's
place.
kicking
Yeah.
off. And then Clay calls back. And so,
Wheelman gets him up to speed.
yeah, he tells him exactly what's happened so far in the film.
And Clay's like, I don't know the name of the guy who set. I just set it up. I don't know the guy. I don't know him.
I don't know where you're going.
I don't know where the drop is.
I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, the guy will call you and tell you where to go.
But Clay, the wheelman's like, you need to fucking fix this. I need to
Yeah.
fucking sort fucking this out. And Clay says, I'll fix it. And then he hangs up. Everybody keeps hanging up on this guy. Nobody says bye at any point.
No, not at all.
Everybody's so rude. And then Katie calls back because Ryan's arrived. And so he says, put Ryan on the phone. So we get to hear Ryan's voice this time. And he says to him, he tells Ryan that he loves Katie more than both of their lives.
Yeah. Do
So
you catch my drift?
Yes, I will murder you. And you need to leave at 9 p.m.
He says you can stay, watch a movie.
Yeah.
But you need at 9 p.m. You're gone.
You're gone. He's happy with his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter and his 17-year-old boy, home alone together. But basically, yeah, he basically threatens him and says, look, if you're not gone by 9, I'm going to murder you and probably myself. He says, I love her more than both of our lives. So it implies that he's going to murder-suicide this guy. Then the handler calls back and tells him where to go because he's arrived at this station, but he's got to go to a specific point.
Yeah. And now every time the handler calls, there's jazz music in the background.
Yeah.
So is this guy just sitting in a jazz club?
Because he calls him the jazz handler at one point.
The jazz handler.
That's what he calls him. And Wheelman quickly becomes apparent that this is not a drop.
He says you're not doing a drop, you're doing an exchange.
And
give them the money, they'll give you a package.
Yeah, so some guys approach the car.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is.
As well,
there's a crew of guys.
This is absolutely typical, isn't it? We're down at the docks.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Standard movie
There's
drug
all
bust.
these heavies starting to surround the car.
Yeah.
They're all armed.
He panics.
I think he can't trust anyone.
Of course he can't.
He's already been told he's going to be murdered once.
Yeah.
Wheelman gets out of there.
Yeah, he speeds off. He wheels off.
Still got the money.
This was a drug buy, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what he describes it as, and that is not happening. He doesn't do it. He calls Clay back. He's like, look, this isn't happening. I'm not getting
He
involved
says,
in
I'm not a
drugs."
drugs runner.
Yeah, he's only just got out of prison. We find out quite soon as well. So he says to Clay, look, find somebody else.
Yeah.
I'll give them the car. They
And the
can
money.
do whatever the fucking...
I'm not doing it.
So Clay says, well, I'll do it. And Wheelman's like, no, you're not doing it.
No, he says like, oh, well, he says, I'll do it. And he says, oh, no, I'll take the money. You tell me where.
Yeah.
Because he thinks Clay's meaning, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And then Clay goes, no,
I
I'll
will do
drive it there.
Yeah.
Wheelman's like, no, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I've got this guy's money. You're not doing it. And Wheelman's like, give me the name of the guy who set this up for
Yeah.
you. I need to know this guy's
Clay's
name.
still not giving anything away. And then Wheelman leaves a message for a guy called Cheetah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Because this never comes into play.
Yeah, we don't know who this guy is.
Well, it's like, I kind of thought he was like the paint shop guy in GTA.
Yeah.
Because
like
Wheelman
the
kind
fixer.
of says, I'm in this car, I need to get off the road.
Yeah.
I need a vehicle. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Chop shop type.
I'm
type
glad you
guy.
noticed that as well. And then he's driving through this like tunnel
Yeah.
and people start shooting at him or he pulls a gun on them.
The bike's behind him.
Yeah, the bike's behind him. Wasn't there like a car of people as well?
I
might be wrong. I might be imagining
I don't
that.
think there was at this point.
Okay, so he pulls a gun on... Oh, he pulls a gun on the guy on
it's
the
just-
bike, doesn't he?
No.
No, there's some random gangsters.
Yeah.
Who
It's just some
cut him up in
hoodlums.
the tunnels. Some random...
And he
losers.
scares him off because he's got a AK-47 on the passenger.
Yeah, which isn't his. It just got dropped there
Yeah.
by the guy who he left behind earlier. Then Clay calls back and he says to Wheelman, look, you've got to do this or you're fucked, basically. We're both fucked.
Clay's taking a different tack now. He says, if you don't do the deal and
I'm
pick
gonna
up
sell
the
you
drugs,
out.
I'm going to tell the handler you've stolen his money.
Yeah.
And you're fucked, mate.
Yeah. And Wheelman doesn't buy that at all. He's like, right, I'm just going to drop this money somewhere and then you can sort it out.
Yeah.
You can come and pick it up. I'm done. This is where he realizes that he's being followed by a motorbike. Then he gets a call from a girl called Jessica, but he doesn't answer it. He just hangs up.
Yeah, she lives on voicemail.
Yeah. And then he calls Cheetah again.
Still can't get hold of him.
Still can't get hold of him. And then we listen to Jessica's voicemail. Jessica is Katie's mother, Frank's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Frank Grillo's ex-wife.
Wheelman.
Wheelman's ex-wife.
It's Mrs. Wheelman. It's Wheelwoman.
And she's annoyed that he's left Katie on her own with a 17-year-old boy.
Yeah, she's like, you fucked this up. You're one weekend with her every month and you fucked it up. You're not even there.
Yeah.
I'm coming to get her, but I'm not coming till tomorrow because I'm busy tonight.
Yeah. While all this is going on, he's just stopped the car in the middle of this tunnel.
Yeah.
And the motorbike is just sitting behind him.
Yeah.
So this is how he spots that he's being followed, because this guy's like, the motorbikes can't follow him, but he's not going anywhere. Clay then calls, like I said a minute ago, this is all phone calls. Yeah. This is all this film is, so apologies. Clay then tells him to go back to the station. I think it was called Chandler Station.
Yeah, he's like, just go and do the drop. And then, which gives himself away, because Wheelman says, I never said the drop was at Chandler Station.
Yeah, so he gives himself,
you know more than you're telling me.
Yeah. Calls Cheetah again, doesn't get an answer. The motorbike's still following him. And then he gets a text message that says, I'm going to kill Clay, then find you. That's my money.
Yeah.
But it's not from this handler guy.
No, it's from an unknown.
An unknown number again. Then the handler calls back and says, you're going to get hurt.
He says, I told you, if you don't listen to me, you'll get hurt.
And then 3 bullets hit the car.
Shots fired.
And he drives off at full speed again. And
then we chase, motorbike versus car.
Car versus motorbike chase, which was actually really awesome.
Yeah.
But a motorbike's never going to beat a car, because you can just run them off the road. And that's exactly what he does. He basically forces the bike to crash into a parked car.
Yeah.
He watches for a little while to make sure the bike is not moving, and he isn't. So then he just leaves him and drives off. And then he pulls up he drives really slowly past like a...
It's a bar.
Yeah, like a bar / nightclub.
He'd said to Clay earlier, oh, were you at the bar?
Yeah. And he pulls up to the back door of this place.
Yeah.
And he takes the gun off the seat. And again, we don't leave the car, but he does at this point.
I liked this. This was effective.
It really worked. Scene. And he worked. So the club door's right in front of the windscreen of the car. And he goes in and he takes his gun in.
You just hear...
And you can hear a commotion going on inside. And then he comes out with a guy at the scruff of the neck, basically throwing this guy all over the place, and forces him into the car.
Yeah.
And drives off. And there's other people around. The guy's hurt his
arm. He's going, oh, my arm's broken. My arm.
There's other people around, but they can't stop Wheelman because he's got this AK-47. And it turns out it's Clay.
Yeah.
So he's basically just gone in and kidnapped Clay. Then somebody else starts shooting at the car. And we find out at this point that this is the real handler. Or the opposite gangster.
It's the guy that they usually work with.
Yes.
Or one of the factions they usually work with. The West End guys.
Yes. So there's the West End handler.
Yeah.
And the jazz handler.
The West End guy's been this unknown caller.
Yes.
It turns out, because they get a call from unknown that says, you hijacked my bank job, you're both dead.
Yeah.
And then they get cornered and shot at.
And then it turns out that the jazz handler is the Philadelphia mob.
Yeah.
And this is the New York mob. I don't know where this one's set.
And Clay says to Wheelman that, yeah, I set this heist up with the West End guys, but then these Philadelphia guys called me and offered me even more money to screw the West End guys over, so that they could start making inroads on this patch.
So he's basically accidentally started a mob war.
Yeah.
And Wheelman's like, look, I need to get straight with the West End guys, because when I was inside, they were the guys who helped me get out. And
he's already in debt to him.
Yeah, so already indebted with him.
He's like, who's this Philly guy? I need to
Yeah.
end him, basically. Who is it? What's his name?
Yeah.
You've talked to him. How'd you get in touch with him?
And Wheelman says to Clay, look, I'll give you 20 grand out of the money out of the boot of this car, and you need to leave town and never come back.
Yeah.
And never speak to us again. Clay then pulls a gun on him.
So I wasn't quite clear here. This was my nitpick of this movie.
Okay.
So Clay's like in despair at this point. He's like rocking back and forward in the seat.
Know what to do.
I'm fucked. I need this money. I need this money. It's basically like, if this doesn't go the right way for him, he's dead.
Yeah.
And he pulls a gun.
Yeah.
And I was like, has he pointed it at himself or Wheelman?
I
thought he kind of put it to his chin.
He pointed it at Wheelman to start with, and then he was like, I can't kill this guy. And then he was like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
So he turns the gun on himself.
I thought he did, yeah.
And does shoot himself.
Well, yeah, they have a struggle first.
Yeah,
Wheelman's
trying to get it off him. But it does go off and he does shoot himself.
It's
And he,
Pulp Fiction, this is.
yeah, it is.
Like, there's brains all over the windscreen.
And he does shoot him. He does die, basically. He shoots
Eventually.
Yeah.
Garrett Dillahunt gets to do some good death acting.
Oh, yeah, Clay is Garrett Dillahunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He kind of starts
like
babbling nonsense, doesn't he? And eventually he dies. Wheelman opens the door and pushes the body out into the street and drives off again. But he can't go very far because the windscreen's covered in blood.
Yes.
So he has to pull over and try and clean all the blood and brains off the windscreen. And then the jazz handler calls back.
Philadelphia, yeah.
And he knows everything about Wheelman at this point. He tells him his wife's name. He tells him his daughter's name.
Says, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know you've got a family.
I know you're just a regular guy with a wife and a daughter. That's what he says. This makes Wheelman panic more than he was already. He was already panicked.
Yeah.
Now he's like uber panicked. So he tries phoning Katie again. And the first few times she doesn't answer the phone. So he's really panicking. He's like, I can't get hold of my daughter. And then she does answer the phone on like the third or fourth attempt. And he's like, tell Ryan to take you out of the house. We're going to trust Ryan now. We like Ryan now. Get you out of the house. Take you somewhere safe. Ryan's already gone home. It's gone 9 o'clock.
It's gone 9 o'clock. We did what you said.
Ryan is shit scared of you. He has gone home. I'm here on my own. And he's like, okay, you need to go to the garage, take the Porsche.
Of course, he got a Porsche.
Family Porsche. And leave. And then she's like, where are the keys to the Porsche? He's like, fuck, I've got the keys to the Porsche. So his plan's just unraveling. And he's like, the spare keys in the junk drawer. Everybody's got a junk drawer in the man drawer. Find the spare keys. So she does. Eventually, there's a bit of back and forth.
He gives her instructions to drive to a parking garage.
Yeah. So basically, Wheelman is we learn at this point, he's like a track driver.
Yeah.
He's not like a road driver. Yeah. He's a track driver, and he's taught his daughter how to drive.
Sure.
And she knows how to drive on a track. He tells her it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, he's basically giving her a pep talk. You can do it. You've driven. We've had days and days at the track.
Yeah.
You've just got to drive.
The same thing. Address. Literally, just drive to this parking garage, park there,
and someone will come and get you.
I'll come and get you. Yeah. And then he calls Jessica, who's the mother, and he's like, "You need to go now and pick up your daughter from this parking garage." And she's like, "Nah."
Yeah,
I've got plans tonight. I'm doing that. It's your weekend. With
she's
her.
like with a Tinder date. Or something.
Exactly.
And she's like, "I will go and get her, but as I've said, I'll do it tomorrow."
Yeah, I'm not going tonight. So he's like, for fuck's sake. But then whilst this all is happening, there's some sort of commotion in the background.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, look, there's someone at the door."
Yeah. And then all sorts of shit kicks off. So it sounds like somebody's come for Jessica. And then the call dies.
Yeah, because you hear like a scream.
Yeah. And then the phone cuts off. So we don't know. Katie seems to be safe. Yeah. Jessica appears to not be safe. The jazz handler calls back, which is possibly my favourite name I've ever come up with. He wants to meet him, and he has his wife. That's what this guy says.
He's like, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to fuck her. And I'm going to make you listen on down the phone. And I'm like, this is a dark turn.
And then the West End handler guy calls him. For the first time, this is the first time we hear from this guy, apart from by text. And he also wants this money, because this is his money.
And they kind of get a reel with each other at this point, don't they?
Yeah, because the guy's like, this is bigger than $200,000. Yeah. He says this situation is a weapon.
Yeah, because he says, if this guy wins,
yeah,
he's got my territory, basically.
Yeah.
My power's gone, my whole livelihood, my family's at risk.
And this guy's like, I can help you out of this situation. I can sort this situation out for you. You just need to...
Because Wheelman says he's got my wife.
Yeah.
He knows everything
I can sort
about
that.
me.
I'll help you save your family. And it'll help me save my family, because I'll end up dying as well, and so will they, and it'll be a nightmare. So they set up an exchange. And he tells Wheelman exactly where to meet him.
No, he says to Wheelman, you set up an exchange with Philadelphia. Yeah. Tell me where you're meeting. Yeah. I'll do the rest.
Yeah, I'll sort it out.
Wheelman's kind of got no choice but to go with this plan, I guess.
Yeah, and so he has the jazz handler on hold all the time at this point. So he goes back to that call and he tries to set up this exchange.
In a comedy, he'd put the wrong one on hold and reveal his plans, wouldn't he?
Yeah. And then he hangs up on the jazz handler, which is a big deal, because he's like...
He calls his bluff.
He does cause his bluff.
Because the jazz guy's like, remember, I'm going to fuck your wife and make you listen. And Wheelman's like, She's my ex-wife, motherfucker.
Yeah, and then hangs up. And he's like, hopefully this guy's going to call me back now, because he's like, I need to wait so we can set this up. And then he eventually, there's quite a tense few minutes where he doesn't call, and then he does. Wheelman talks to Jessica for a little bit and then tells the dude to meet him at Fillmore and 19th in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Be there and I will do the exchange. And then he goes back onto the West End guy, tells that guy what's going on.
The West End guy says, fine, just keep him there.
Yeah,
and if you deliver that guy to me, we are square.
All debts are paid.
Yeah.
You don't owe me any money, everything's sorted. And then suddenly, just as that call finishes, somebody rams him from behind and starts firing a machine gun at him.
Who was this guy?
Don't know.
I mean, I guess we're just supposed to believe this was one of...
I think it's the guy from the motorbike. Or,
yeah, it's one of
the jazz guys,
handlers guys.
The jazz handlers guys.
But this time he's in like a Jeep thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he like sideswipes him.
Yeah. So he starts firing at the wheelman's car. Wheelman starts firing back. Wheelman gets the upper hand, hits the dude, kills the dude.
Which, and it must be, because then he finds a quiet place to pull over again. Somehow this car is still limping along.
Yeah.
And he goes through the money bags, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he finds a tracker.
Yes, he does.
So
and then he escapes.
Disposes of that.
Yeah, because the guy gets back in the car, drives off, and then crashes straight away. So he's done. We found the tracker. The tracker's gone. And then I've written here, finally he's going to ditch this car.
Yeah.
Because this would be the first thing you would have done, surely.
Because he's not even seen I mean, either he's a really good driver or the police in this unnamed city are terrible because...
Oh, the police in this city are terrible. There isn't any.
We've not seen
not hide or hair.
We've not seen a soul in the city.
No, the whole city's abandoned.
And all you hear is police in the distance all the way through. But they never see them. They never get anywhere near the wheelman.
No. I'm imagining
That's
this is filmed in the middle of a very quiet city at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday or something. This was all filmed. But yeah, he finally ditches the car. He burns the car. And he walks...
Yeah, somehow he's found time to make a couple of Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, I don't know where he got the booze
Because he puts one with in the money bag and he burns the car.
And then he walks to a parking garage and he meets Katie.
Yeah.
We meet Katie for the first time. Finally, there's another person in this film.
Yeah, she's actually there.
Yeah. And they switch into his Porsche.
Yeah. And he says, we've got to go and deliver these bags.
Yeah. Let's go. We will need to go. She panics about him going to prison again.
Yeah.
She doesn't want that. That's the last thing she wants.
So she gives him a lift to this address, Fillmore and 19th.
Yeah. And then he says, right, I want you to take this car and drive all the way to Uncle Rich's house.
And do not stop.
Here's my wallet.
Yeah.
If you need anything, get that on the way there. I don't know where Uncle Rich lives. Probably somewhere out in the suburbs or something. But it seemed like it was a long way.
It's a tearful goodbye, isn't it? And
she
Katie
doesn't want to go.
do some acting.
To proper acting, yeah. She doesn't want to go. He doesn't really want her to do it, but he has
He's
no
like,
choice.
Look, I'm in this situation.
Yeah.
I'll see you again.
So for the first time, second time in this film, he leaves a car now, and we stay in the car with somebody else. He takes the bags up these stairs.
We stay with Katie.
We stay with Katie.
She drives off.
Yep. So he takes the bags up these stairs in this garage where he's arranged to do this drop off.
She gets to the ramp to the street, doesn't she? But she kind of stops the Porsche.
Yes.
And she is like, fuck this.
Yeah, I'm not leaving.
And circles back around.
She goes up.
Yeah.
She goes up the parking garage. And we see from the backseat of Katie's Porsche now we're in.
I thought this was lovely. Considering this is just someone driving a car around a deserted multi-story car park, it was shot brilliantly.
It was. The whole movie shot really well.
It really is. The night, it's all at night, so you've got all the lights glinting off all the metal of the cars. You've got cameras all over the outside of these cars, so different angles. And just I'm not really a car guy.
No, I'm not.
It's just a thing to get you where you need to go. I've never been passionate about them. But the sound in this movie is brilliant as well.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
They're all sort of chugging along and it's great.
It's
I can't
great.
fault that.
One thing I did notice that you can fault in this movie is whenever you see the exterior of the cars, they're always wet.
Yeah,
and yet it never rains in the whole film.
That's true.
There's never any reason for the cars to be wet, but they're always wet.
Yeah.
So anyway, Katie drives up to the top floor of this garage and parks up so she can see this exchange that's about to happen.
Yeah.
And we watch it through the back, from behind her, from the back seat, over the road in a different parking garage. So you can kind of see what's going on in the distance, but you can't really see what's going on. And it was beautiful. It was a really nice way to do it.
Yeah. It was really good.
Because any other film would have taken you over there and you'd have been there with them.
Yeah.
But this is a film that's set in a car. And they're going to stick to this theme. And basically, all we see is Wheelman starts firing. There's an explosion at some point and he gets Jessica back.
Yeah.
And that's all we really see.
And he keeps the money.
Yes,
he doesn't hand the
he
money
gets Jessica
over.
and the money.
Because he throws the other Molotov cocktail at these
them.
gangsters.
Yeah. Katie's like, fucking hell, what's going on? That's me mum. So she's suddenly now like, right, no, I'm going to drive off this time. Gets to the bottom, and just as she gets to the bottom of the stairs, Wheelman comes running down with the money.
And she's like, Dad,
I'm over here.
Yeah.
But the mother is not there.
I don't know how he's got her away. But he's like, she's safe. Don't
He's
worry
hidden
about
her
it.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So he gets in the driving seat. She gets in the passenger seat. And it's a good job she didn't drive off and leave him because I don't know what his plan was.
Yeah.
Didn't appear to have one. Then there's a car chase because obviously these mobsters are the jazz handlers trying to catch up with him.
Because so
It's a really
basically,
cool car chase.
Wheelman is trying to buy time till the West End guys get there.
Yeah, till they're ready.
Because they're not there yet.
No. So he's basically going to lead. The plan is to lead the jazz handler to the
Back to
West
where they
End.
are now, but they've got to do a few laps to. Yeah.
So the West End guy calls him. He's like, "Wait, no." He calls the West End guy, and he's like, "I'm bringing him to you now. Are you ready?" And he is basically.
Yeah.
And he drives back into this parking garage.
Backwards
At
the end of this chase.
Yeah. He reverses into this parking garage, and he drives through a load of other cars.
Yeah.
Or past a load of other cars. And then when the jazz handler comes in, all hell breaks loose.
All these dudes step out.
All these dudes step out, start fucking firing at him, and it's an ambush basically, and he gets killed the fuck. He's just dead. Killed the fuck.
This guy sort of drops out of this car, and they just execute him.
Yeah, the West End guy's like, bullet to the head, job done.
Wheelman gets out.
Yep.
Delivers them the bags.
It doesn't say. I love this bit. It doesn't say a word.
Nod at each other.
He just walks over to the guy, gives him the bag of money, walks back to the car, gets back in, and just drives off.
Yeah.
No words are exchanged. It was beautiful. Katie then finally says, "Where's me mum?"
Just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's me mum gone? And then she apologises for not leaving him when she said she was going to, which he was all right with.
Yeah, Wheelman's like, well, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't. That was fine.
hindsight.
We had a nice family moment there. And then he drops Katie at like this overnight diner.
Yes.
Which is open, and Jessica's in there having dinner. And then the film ends.
Yeah.
Nice and neat, little 80 minutes.
Bye-bye.
The job's done. Everybody's happy at the end. The end. What did you think?
I really liked it.
I
had a proper good time. I thought this was going to be cheap action without seeing any action.
Yeah.
That sort of film we've seen loads.
Yeah.
And I was proper invested in this.
Same.
It was tight. It stuck to its budget. The tension of just increasingly frantic phone calls, it keeps its powder dry in terms of car chases until
you need it to.
Yeah, until like the 3 or 2.5 chases that there are in this, and that makes them really effective. The car's a character.
Yeah, 100%.
We never even see the car.
No, couldn't even tell you what's up. We see the Porsche from the outside, but we never saw the black car with the red
I think
boot.
we see it as a BMW from its wheels,
yeah.
but we never see the car.
No, because you're never outside it.
No.
Like you said, there's only 10 shots in the whole film
really
that's not
well
set
done.
in a car.
I thought this was a real
It's
nice
a gimmick.
surprise. Yeah.
It's a gimmick, but it really works.
Yeah.
Because I'd read I'd read the trivia before where it says there's only 10 shots outside the car. And I was like, oh, wow, that sounds like it's going to be really gimmicky.
Yeah.
But it actually really worked, and it made you feel like you were involved in all of this.
What's the movie from last year with Steve from Stranger Things in, where he's...
Spree.
Yeah. I got kind of vibes of that in this, but that was more gimmicky.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of didn't quite last to the end of the movie.
No,
Whereas
no.
I thought this, like I say, it kept his powder dry until... I just think this works.
Even
I think being 80 minutes long as well.
Yeah, it really helped it.
Yeah.
It really helped it.
It was
even
tight.
right at the end where he drops Katie off, he never leaves the car.
No.
And we see this reunion through the car window, through the diner window.
Yeah.
So any bit of action we don't need to see, we don't see.
Yeah.
And anything we do see, we're seeing as if you're watching it through a car. It was a really neat little gimmick, and it really worked.
I thought it was a real nice surprise.
I thought Frank Grillo was excellent in it. I can't imagine anybody who could have done it better, if I'm honest.
Really.
He
really
plays
good
that really
performance.
well, like the big heavy. You know, he could beat somebody up if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. That's the kind of role he excels at.
And he has to do the sort of strong, not many words, because that's kind of the character. But then he also does get to show the emotion when it does get frantic. He's looking for his daughter.
He's the everyman, but also, you know, he could fuck somebody up if he wanted to.
And the girl who played Katie was
she was great.
She was really good as
and
well.
She genuinely is only 13 as well.
Yeah.
So, well, she was at the time.
It was a real pleasant surprise.
I don't really have any criticisms of this film. I thought it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. It flew by. It absolutely flew by.
Yeah.
And because it's so hectic and there's constantly something happening, even if it's just phone calls. And it's like that whole cheetah thing. We don't know who that guy was.
No.
But
he was a red herring. He was a red cheetah.
Yeah. But there was constantly something happening, and it's a feast for the brain. This one.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. What's the best thing about it?
That's difficult because I liked a lot about it. The story is simple, but effective. Grillo's great.
Yeah,
it looks great. The cinematography, the soundtrack's great.
It's beautiful looking.
What's the best thing about it? I think it might be the cinematography.
I think it is. I think it's the.
It's really sharply directed, and I think I'm going with just the.
I think it is. I think it's the fact that it's got this gimmick and it really works.
Yeah, they're all in.
That gimmick could have easily not worked, but that director's made that gimmick really work. And I think you've got to give him a lot of credit for that, especially for that's your first movie. This is the first thing you're ever trying.
Yeah,
and you're going in with this really difficult, because it must be a really difficult thing to do. What would you change?
I think maybe in an ideal world, if you've got a bit more money to spend, you can probably do a bit more with the car chases.
Yeah, maybe. Just maybe go a
But
little bit
that's
more.
a minor niggle because they were fine within the context of this and the style of this.
Yeah.
But maybe in an ideal world, you'd want to blow a few more cars up or...
Yeah, you probably want a few more action sequences.
Yeah. Or just extend those.
That is a really minor nitpick because
it doesn't take away from the movie.
Not at all. The movie's really good.
Yeah. You can, if this was a non-English language movie, Hollywood would remake this.
Yeah,
starring
100%.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
That occurred to me a couple of times.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. If it was like Norwegian or French or something.
And people would rave about it and go, the highly anticipated Hollywood remake.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from,
first-time director, small studio.
Which is why I'm really surprised Jeremy Rush has not yet done anything else in the, 5 years since. Because I think there's loads of potential here.
Yeah, I agree.
Really, really impressed.
I think you're right. Stream table?
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be the 24th film going into this.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the whole thing?
Why not?
My computer's being weird.
Why not?
It's not scrolling, it's zooming. Right, I'll read it from the bottom. Currently at the bottom of the stream, and hopefully it stays there, is Apocalypse Please at 23rd. 22nd is the CEO. 21st is Setup. 20th is 8 Remains. 19th is Target. 18th is Endangered Species, last week's film. 17th is Hard Times. 16th is Prisoners of the Lost Universe. 15th is Comes a Bright Day. 14th is The Land of Steady Habits. 13th is Intrusion. 12 is The Parts You Lose. 11 is All at Sea. All at Sea seems like flipping ages ago. Top 10. Currently at number 10 is The Sweeney Todd Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Not that one. Number 9 is Robot Overlords. Number 8 is XOXO. Number 7 is Bodycam. Number 6 is Pentagram. Number 5 is The Trip. Number 4 is Ghosts of War. Number 3 is Summit of the Gods. Number 2 is Last Man Down. And number 1, currently at the top of the stream, is Lockout. What are you thinking?
Okay, let's uncork this bottle straight away.
Go for it.
I enjoyed it more than Last Man Down.
Agreed.
So straight away, it's top 2.
Yes.
I think there's a real conversation to be had of this being...
Then let's have that conversation.
The stream table. which was a massive surprise to me. But I think,
I'm going to ask you a question.
yeah,
Does your gut tell you now that this should be top of the
yes,
stream?
it does.
Same.
I'll tell you why. That's my gut, but also thinking about it a bit more objectively, I really enjoyed Lockout,
Yep, same.
but it was what I expected.
Yes.
This was a wonderful surprise.
I'd agree.
I was not
completely
expecting to enjoy this much.
I completely agree. I think I want to put this film at the top of the stream purely on the fact that it's the best film we've seen this season. And it's as simple as that.
I was totally engaged.
Yeah, me too. There isn't many stream tables that it wouldn't be top at for me.
I think it would be in the conversation.
I agree.
This is a hard recommend for me.
Yeah, same.
I think
This is
I can't see many people, because we always say, "Oh, we kind of liked it." But we know a lot of people.
Me and you don't even do action films.
I think I can pretty confidently say to pretty much anyone, go and watch Wheelman. It's a hidden gem.
Yeah,
you'll like it.
Agree.
You'll have a fun. It's action. It'll pull you in. Saturday night movie, solid.
It's one of those films that if it wasn't for this show, I never would have watched it.
100%.
100% don't pick action films as a standard. I don't watch them. And I'm really happy I did. We started the show to find hidden gems on Netflix, and I think we've just found one.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Neither of us really watch action films, and there's now 3 at the top of this stream table. So that's interesting. Are we putting the top of the stream?
I think we should.
I think we should as well. I don't think there's any real question. Lockout's a good film, and it's an entertaining piece of cinema. But this is great.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. 24th film of the season.
Amazing.
Top of the stream.
Wow.
Is that the latest takeover?
It's got to be up there.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and
are you going to do that?
research. I remember Villains came in very late.
I don't think it was
a couple of
this late
seasons ago.
I don't think it was this late.
But I don't know if it was 24th.
Certainly not.
I think really well deserved.
Anyway, congratulations to Wheelman, Frank Grillo, and Jeremy Rush for currently topping season 7 stream table.
One more week to go.
One more week to go.
On for 1 week.
We've got to pick next week's film.
The finale
So,
of season 7.
coincidentally, this wasn't planned, but the finale of season 7 is also going to be our Halloween special.
Oh, amazing.
So-
Of course it is.
As people who have listened to this show for the last 2 years, maybe in 1 year, whatever, this is our 3rd Halloween special.
Yeah.
We don't do horror films for Halloween.
No,
because we do horror films all the time.
The random, by just virtue of the type of content that is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And even though we randomly select our movies, there's a lot of horror films on there.
There are a lot
So
of
we
horror,
do,
especially
horror
with them
films
being
quite a bit.
unknowns
Yeah.
as well. There's a lot of unknown horror films out there. So we try and avoid them at Halloween. And we try and find something that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We've done musicals in the past. We've done animation
for Halloween.
animated musicals, I think, in fact. But this time we found something that's a little bit different. I don't really know. It's a comedy drama.
Okay.
It's called Rainbow Time.
Lovely.
So this is the only. Also, I should mention this is the only time we also don't use Robin apart from the wild cards.
Yeah.
We this is on our list.
Yes.
But we try and find something that's not Halloweeny.
Exactly.
So we picked a film called Rainbow Time to watch next week, which doesn't sound Halloweeny at all, does it?
And therefore completely fits the brief.
Absolutely. So Rainbow Time's from 2016. According to IMDb, is not rated in the UK, and runs for 1 hour and 31 minutes. Do you want the synopsis?
Yes, please.
A developmentally delayed 40-year-old man named Schnoozy is sent to live with his brother Todd. But when Shonzi, his name is, but when Shonzi develops a crush on Todd's girlfriend Lindsay, he threatens to reveal past secrets that could ultimately tear the couple apart.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's about a challenged 40-year-old going to break up a couple of his brother's relationships.
Sounds right up your street.
Wow.
No, I didn't mean because
I have never broken up any of my brother's relationships, contrary to popular opinion.
I meant because it was a comedy. You've misinterpreted me.
Yeah, I don't do comedy very often. But this just sounds interesting. I'm not even checked who's in it. Let's have a look. Melanie Lynchky's in it.
Oh, fantastic.
We like her.
Yeah, we do. She's always good.
She is indeed. Linus Phillips, Tim Sharp. Yeah, nobody else I've really ever heard of.
Excellent.
A couple of dogs.
Always good to have a doggo.
Chaz the dog and Lolita the dog are both credited. So yeah, we're going to do that, shall we, for Halloween?
I'm excited.
Me too.
For Halloween and to bring season 7.
I was going to suggest for the Halloween film to do a Christmas film. But I thought that'd be really weird. And I don't want to start thinking about Christmas.
No, because weirdly, when we come to Christmas, we have done a Christmas film. But again, because there's not millions of those on Netflix.
So yeah, the 175th film that we've ever done on this show
Amazing.
will be Rainbow Time.
Yeah.
Have we done 175 films?
Each one amazing.
Each one amazing? Really? Really, I would challenge that to go and watch Apocalypse Please again. So yeah, go out and watch Rainbow Time, and in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Our username is the same on all three. It's at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded. You will find all the stream tables. We need to update season 7 stream tables.
We do.
Soon. Loads of other cool stuff, and if you want some merch, you can even buy a Bottom of the Stream
bin bag.
Bin bag.
Yeah, just one.
I thought you said a holder or carrier or something, but just one singular Bottom of the Stream bin bag.
You cut a hole in it, use it as a poncho.
If you cut a hole in it, you could be a ghost for Halloween.
That's true.
Which is next week. After you've done all that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottom of the stream. On there for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come
That's due.
Is it due?
Yes.
Oh, can't wait.
It'll be here soon.
And if you come in at the top level, you will get a wild card, which means you can pick the film that we watch. And you might even win a small prize. And then after you've done all that, head over to Discord. The Discord community that we're building in there is fantastic.
Yeah.
If it is fantastic, but it does appear to have a terrible memory.
That is very fair.
That is also on me. We've been planning a movie watch along for the last 2 weeks now, and we've forgotten about it both weeks in a row. So apologies for that if you've been looking forward to that.
That's just poor diary management.
We're doing it now in mid-November, I think it was decided. So yeah, we do movie watch-alongs in there. We play games in there. We have loads of chats about films. If anybody's been to the cinema, we'll find out about it. If anybody's watched anything random.
Chat about life.
Just chat about life in general. And then we might even meet you at some point. We met Ross last weekend. So yeah, do all of that. Head over to there. The Discord link will be in the show notes.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review or rating anywhere you can review or rate podcasts. That could be on places like Podbean, Podchaser, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all of those and more. We're at them. Come and find us.
We are on all of them. We are at all of them. So yeah, come and find us. Do all of that, what we've just said. And then go out and watch Rainbow Time. And that will be our Halloween special season finale. Bumper week next week for Bottom of the Stream.
I'm so excited.
Big old episode of The Wave coming on Monday. Big old movie show coming next week. And then we'll let you know what we're doing post-season after that.
Cheers.
Bye.